5 to the 100 is where 40 is. It's a good kind of laugh. It's a fun laugh. Welcome to another episode of Jay Leno's Garage. You know, we like to think all the cars we do here are special, but some are just a little more special than others. I think this qualifies. This is a 1993 Porsche 962 road legal car. Now, if you've never seen this particular model before, there's a reason for that. They only built 6 of them. Let's meet the man who owns it and will tell us the story. Matthew Ivanhoe. Matthew, come on in, my friend.
Jay, thank you so much for having me.
Beautiful piece of kinetic sculpture you have here.
Thank you.
Very nice. So tell us the story. Exactly what is the model?
So this is a Schuppan 962CR, also known as a Schuppan 962LM. It is one of 6, although it has a unique body, unique motor, which makes it a little different from the others.
Right.
And this was the creation of Vern Schuppan and was designed to be one of the most intense streetcar experiences that you could possibly have.
Now tell us who Vern Schuppan was.
So he was an Australian-born racing driver. He started out in Formula cars and then switched to sports cars, which culminated in him becoming a Porsche factory driver, and he won the 1983 24 Hours of Le Mans behind the wheel of a 956.
Now, did he do this with the blessing of Porsche?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The blessing and support of Porsche, strong support.
Well, we had someone here who is now the president of design for General Motors, Michael Simcoe. He's the man who designed this car. And it was fascinating. He drove the Y job. He came and brought that to us. And this is an example of his work, because he is also Australian. That, I guess, is the connection with Vern.
Yep.
Hey, let me get another Australian to design this thing for me. They did a beautiful job.
Yeah.
It's really fantastic. And the body is all carbon fiber?
100% carbon fiber, as is the tub.
And that is 1993. So let's go back. The McLaren F1, I think, is the first full production car to have all carbon fiber tub and body and the whole deal. And this predates that, doesn't it?
It does,
Yeah.
it does. And so the Jaguar XJR15, to my knowledge, was the first fully carbon fiber car.
I guess that's right, yeah.
And this came right after that.
Yeah, you might be right, you might be right. How many of those did they build? I don't even know.
The XJR15?
Yeah,
I believe there are 28 road cars and 27 survived today.
Okay, oh, some of that, I probably have my facts wrong. I know it took something like 2,000 hours to do the carbon fiber body and tub for the F1.
Yeah.
Now it takes an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But this must have also been labor intensive.
Extremely, extremely.
And now this is a 962, so this is a water cooled flat 6. Is it the 3.2 liter model?
3.2 liter, that's correct.
Okay. So, and of course, water cooling in 93 was not new for Porsche, but it wasn't what they were known for.
That's true,
Yeah.
and as a result, they wanted to proceed forward, but not completely walk away from what had worked for them in the past.
Right.
So the cylinder heads are water cooled, and the cylinders themselves are air cooled.
Oh, okay, that's
it's a water
interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, I know a lot of motorcycles did that in the 90s and the 2000s. You know, even Harley did the water cooled head and the air cooled. Okay, very cool.
It works.
And what kind of horsepower are we talking?
So on low boost, it will make 550 horsepower. On high boost, it'll make as much as 850, but that's strictly for qualifying. You would not want to run the motor for a long time.
And is that adjustable from the driver's seat?
It is.
Okay.
It is. There's a button, though, if you really want to do it the right way, you do change EPROMs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. And did these run on pump fuel, or did they run on some special gas?
The other street cars are able to run on pump fuel.
Right.
This is a little different from the other street cars. This one runs on C16.
Okay, so racing fuel.
Yes.
Okay. And the brakes, there were no carbon fiber brakes in 93.
No.
So this is steel rotors.
Yes.
Okay. That's Porsche as well.
Yep. So the calipers are done by Brembo, and one of the fun details I like is that Schuppan had a special run of the calipers done by Brembo instead of all the regular 962s had Porsche stamped on the calipers, and this has a nice little fun Team Schuppan right on the side.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the little details here.
So these were built in Australia? Not in Australia?
No, these were built in the UK.
Okay. Oh, in the UK.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And Porsche allowed their name to be put on it. That's interesting.
Well, I mean, it was Schuppan's car. I mean, it was Vern's car. They did it. Verne did it with strong backing from Porsche.
Right,
I mean,
right.
Porsche was supplying everything. It was also an interesting time in Porsche's life when they were a bit on life support. And
Well, that's true. They've always been on life support up until very recently, the last 10 years or so. I mean, and I don't mean that as an insult.
No.
But so many car companies, it costs a lot to develop and go racing. And when your main focus is racing, you know, the road cars support that, and you just sort of barely get by all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an exciting
Yeah.
way to live. You're always on the edge.
It's like having an addiction. It's
But it's what
what
makes the company innovative, because
Yeah.
they've always got to keep coming up with new things to improve it and make it better. You
Yeah.
know, so I don't want to sound like I was insulting it or anything. How many speed transmission?
5-speed.
It's 5-speed transmission.
Yeah,
Okay.
dog-leg 5-speed.
Okay. Anything different about that, or is it the standard Porsche?
Standard 962 gearbox.
Okay.
It's fully synchro, so might seem unconventional for a race car, but
Right.
it was a 5-speed synchro box, which actually makes it relatively usable on the street.
Now, this car only has 1 mile on it. Is that correct?
Yes, which is it's basically it's never been driven on the street before.
Wow.
It has been run on a dyno, but it has never been run on the street.
So you bring it into that 1 mile check. I guess you drive 1 mile, you bring it in. They change the belts, do the whole deal. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Now, why? Why would it sit for 30 years?
Schuppan, unfortunately, so he had Japanese backers who funded the streetcar operation, funded the racing operation, because he started racing the Japanese Group C series
Right.
for these investors. And by 1993, the Japanese economy was struggling. And as a result, the investors, Schuppan's investors, were having trouble paying for cars that they were ordering. So the car got sent to America briefly. It was at Champion in Florida for a brief spell. Then it went back to Schuppan, and then after Schuppan went bankrupt, one of their creditors, and this is as I've been told, and I've
Oh,
like
that's
all the
the bus
paperwork.
company, right? Or the bus windshield company?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So one of their creditors manufactured the windshields for London double-decker buses.
Right.
And he took the car as credit on his investment.
Right.
And rolled it into his.
Well, that's right. That's right. As I remember, the bus windshield companies were right next to his shop.
Yeah, it was in the
And
same
so they knocked the
industrial
wall
complex.
out and they rolled the car in.
Yeah,
and
basically.
And it
Yeah.
sat there for what, 20-something years?
It sat there from 1995 until 2010.
Wow. I mean, okay, all right.
He thought it was art. He thought it was art.
Well, it certainly is. It certainly is.
you.
But a car, I mean, obviously it has to be totally recommissioned after sitting
Yes,
that long.
yes, which
and
it was.
You've done that. You've had that done.
Yes.
Okay.
So once it came over to the U.S., it was recommissioned.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how complicated is that?
I guess it depends on what your definition of complicated is.
Yeah.
It was actually, I mean, so the thing that they were doing, I mean, they weren't running it in his office, obviously.
Right.
But they were turning it over. They were making sure that it was, that the rings weren't going to just freeze up and all
Gotcha.
that. So it basically just needed a lot of seals, a lot of lines and stuff like that.
And this was supposed to run at Le Mans, correct?
It was supposed to run a Le Mans.
That was the whole idea. That's why Simco designed it. They're going to take it to Le Mans, aerodynamic body work, all that kind of stuff. And what happened? Why didn't they make?
So it was a mix of things. So they ran out of funding. So they were really on the ropes. And the story that I've been told is that they brought the car to Le Mans. They did not have enough. They did not have the resources to show up with both a street car. So for the rules that year, they needed to show up with a street car and a race car.
You had to have homologated.
Yes.
But don't you have to build like 25 cars at least for homologation?
They had to build 50.
I have to build 50, but they only built 6.
Yeah, so yeah, it says the best part on the chassis plate, it says 6 out of 50.
Right.
So it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna build 50.
Okay. So, but as I remember, they sort of showed up with this and said, oh, well, we have 2. We have the race one here. Let me go get the street car. Larry, take the race car and go get and he goes around the block and comes back and it's got plates on it, and now it's suddenly a street car.
Yeah, it was
something like
from what
that,
I've been told, it was something like that,
Yeah, very funny.
and it did not work.
It didn't fool anybody.
No, it didn't work. So, yeah, they went home before they even got.
But that's what I love about racers. Nobody gets rich racing. Even a car like this, which was worth millions when you sell it. You put everything you have in trying to get to Le Mans. I mean, if you have a house, you sell your house to pay for the car. It makes perfect sense, and you're always living on the edge, and then the whole thing collapses, but you're left with this, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. Now, this does not have air conditioning, right? No real street car. It's got headlights.
Has turn signals.
Has turn signal. Oh,
that's big, turn signals, good brake lights.
And of course, in that classic racing style, the two seats are right close together to give you that center of gravity.
Yeah, and this was a real accommodation for making it a street car. Was that it was never designed to be a real actual two-seater.
Right.
So where the passenger seat is normally where the ECU would be in a race car. So they relocated the ECU.
Okay.
And put a compact seat in there. Let's just go with that.
But even on all the new cars, the Ford GT, the McLaren P1, they all have the seats very close together.
Of course.
To keep the mass in the center of the car.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Because you're looking at it, if you have two guys in there, you got what, 400 pounds, 380 pounds, something like that. Yeah. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay. Obviously, a dry sump lubrication. As we said, 3.2 liter, 550 horse, you said something?
550 horsepower on low boost, 850 on high boost. You wouldn't want to run it at 850 for very long.
Right.
The car was run briefly on the dyno, and they ran it up to 750, and they just stopped.
And what does it weigh?
It weighs about 2,300 pounds.
Oh, okay.
So
that's about the same as the F1 McLaren. Can we open up the hood and see what it looks like? Let me go around the other side.
So here,
what do I need to do? Anything?
Well, we'll get you familiarized with the process. So we just pull one of those pins out.
Okay.
And here I'll
just pull it straight up.
Yep,
okay.
Straight up like that.
There you go.
Thank you, sir. And then we'll go around to the other side, and we just pull back, and we pull up.
Pull back.
Yep.
Oh, I see. Okay. Comes up this way.
Yep.
Okay. You don't want to open this on a windy day by the side of the road.
No. The mechanisms.
Boy, this is reminiscent of the Carrera GT, the suspension setup here.
It's weapons grade race stuff.
It really is. And as you see, it's got street mufflers. It also has catalytic converters, which is...
It's a green car.
Well, it's a green car. It's a hybrid. It uses gas, and we got on the road, it uses even more gas.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, is this, were these put on in '93, or were these put on later?
These were put on new.
Oh, really? Even back in the day?
Yes, absolutely.
Because catalytic converters were required then, but I didn't think most people bothered.
Well, now, admittedly, this particular car, the putting of catalytic converters on it, given its kind of inability to run on anything other than race fuel, was a little ridiculous.
Right.
And obviously the car wouldn't have raced with cats and mufflers on it. So that was a concession to making the car street legal.
Gotcha. Okay, and this is, what do we have? This water here? Is this your,
That's the oil surge.
That's your, of course, your oil surge, okay. It just looked like we're going to. So your filler, this is
water.
This is water. And you have can we open it?
Yeah, of course. That's part of the startup procedure is checking the oil flow, making sure that it's adequately moving through there. You don't want to fire the car up without oil pressure. So
right. Boy, nicely done. Look at this thing. Jesus.
It's a 962 that you can put a license plate on.
Yeah, and it is a street. It's a street. Honey, it's street legal. Yeah. Take the kids to school, do the whole deal.
It's a race car, so everything's really easy to access, and everything was designed to be worked on and changed quickly and on the fly because it was a race car. So therefore, it's actually not a supremely difficult car to work on.
And of course, these windows do not open.
No.
Okay. I like it's got door locks right here. That's kind of funny.
Very secure.
And it almost looks like that mirror would hit the windscreen.
It's actually very interestingly. They really thought everything out, so they made it such that you can open the doors and still open the bonnet. And
because for Le Mans, you got filler tanks on both sides.
Of course.
What's it, like 25 gallons, something like that?
Something in that range.
Actually, you get to the plugs and everything fairly easy, more than you can on a lot of modern supercars.
Oh yeah, I mean pretty much everything's easy, very easy to access.
Well, you know, It looks complicated until you look at a LaFerrari now or a P1, which seems crazy complicated. I mean, this is actually, you could do some of the work yourself. You got plugs here, everything's reasonably accessible.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's boy, it's a beautiful setup, and it's more mid-engine obviously than rear engine.
That's fully mid-engine.
Yeah, it's yeah. I guess it's fully mid-engine, sure,
Yeah.
sure. Boy, it's just beautiful. Okay,
Thank you.
and you have storage compartments right in there.
Yeah.
So it's a road car. It's a road car.
Exactly. You can stick your specially designed luggage in there.
Oh, do they make special luggage for this?
No. They should have though.
Well, I always talk about it. That's my favorite thing.
Fitted luggage.
Cars always come with fitted luggage. You're not going to get your wife to put her stuff in your stupid fitted luggage, okay? They're not going to do it. They're just not going to do it.
No, it doesn't work.
You get a suitcase that looks like this, and because it goes right back here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, very fun.
It doesn't go with the color scheme. It doesn't. Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine what this piece must cost. I know the Dodge Viper had, when you open that hood, that was the single, at least in the day, the most expensive automotive repair piece you could buy for an American car. It's $26,000 for that hood.
Yeah.
This has got to be $100,000. There's got to be something crazy.
They don't make a spare parts manual for
Right,
this car,
exactly.
so unfortunately I can't tell you exactly what
And
it
this
costs.
is a one-off, isn't it?
It essentially
this body
is.
style.
Yes, I mean what's really cool about it is that it's got the straight 962C front and the side
Right.
pods and everything for the water motor, but then it's the full Schuppan treatment in the back, so it's got all kinds of cues from all these different cars.
I know, every
that
time
it's
you
really
say
fun.
Chupin, I'm waiting for music to start playing. It just makes me laugh. And I love the geometry here of all of this. I mean, look how sort of wimpy looking, but obviously incredibly strong this piece is.
Oh, yeah.
But obviously for lightweight, it's a racing car. I mean, it just looks like whatever we need to just get the job done as efficiently and as light as possible. And I just love the way the mufflers go in here. Very nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Very cool. Very
Thank
cool.
you.
Beautifully done. Beautifully done.
Thank you.
Okay, let's. I know it's only got 1 mile on it. Can we put a second mile on it? Is that possible?
We're going to be putting probably a few miles on it today.
Oh, all right, let's do it. Let's do it. Well, this should be exciting. Let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
When you can feel the Porsche connection, you know?
Oh yeah. It's still got a lot of messages of
Yeah.
Porsche.
It's amazing there's no ventilation of any kind in the car. I mean, even at Le Mans, it gets pretty hot.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, at least in Le Mans they had, holes cutting out windows and stuff like that, but I mean, it's loud in here, but it's not unbearable.
No, it's not obnoxious. It's a good kind of loud.
It's a fun loud.
I mean, the steering is very direct. I mean, look at that. I mean,
I just want to tell you, I mean, for me, like, this car, as a kid, I always sort of had an obsession with things that were just flagrantly, like race cars with no business being on the street, and here they are anyway. So to me, how we're viewing this thing right now, and
you're really thinking around corners.
yeah, it just doesn't get boring in this,
No, it's very cool.
I mean, this has a license plate, it can go on the street.
Well, initial impression, it's so long-legged, you really have to slip the clutch to pull away in first gear.
Yep.
Because you realize the top speed is 240, and you can probably break every speed limit in first gear.
Yep. It's an exercise in insanity.
Yeah, nothing happens below $3 grand, not much, but quite comfortable. I mean, there's no ventilation at all, which is amazing. I would make these so you can take them out.
Yeah, the race cars, they always have ventilation. The windows, they'll allow that.
What did this thing go for in '93?
Well, Jay, believe it or not, this car was $1.9 billion.
So that would be about $3 million?
Yep,
Wow.
that's exactly right.
Wow.
That is why, and especially in the midst of an world coming out of a worldwide economic recession, and the intended market of the car, which was Japan, being weak at the time, particularly weak. That's why that's probably why they only sold 6.
Right. Well, even McLaren was supposed to build 300 cars. They got to what, 64 road cars, and that was that.
Yep.
But you know, the mid-90s, the early 90s, those were the last years you could still technically take a street car to Le Mans and win the race, as McLaren did in 95.
Yep. It was a really special time. That's why, you know, I think these are, you know, stuff like this, the XJR 15, things of that ilk, the McLaren F1 obviously, are kind of the, you know, the end of an era.
Have you sold any F1s?
Never sold an F1. I've sold multiple XJR 15s. I'm a big fan of those. I've had the privilege of going in of being in an F1 once, and it was an absolute incredible experience.
Oh, they're wonderful.
They're amazingly civil. I've been in an F1 LM, never a regular F1.
Yeah. It's amazing. Nothing happens until you hit 3,000 RPM.
Oh yeah. Well, twin K26 turbos. Being fed by 3.2 liters. It's definitely ready to run.
And this 962 is a real workhorse. They won a whole bunch of races with this thing, didn't they?
It was one of the most dominant sports racing prototypes of all time.
And it really did outlive its, I mean, it was for this much time period and it went this much time period.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it really stayed around longer than it needed to because it was so good.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was, look, Dower won Le Mans in 94 with the 962.
Right.
It was, you know, from its first outing to its last, it was over, you know, over 10 years. It's, in race car world, that's beyond a dinosaur.
Yes.
That's like, you know, prehistoric amoeba stuff.
I like that 100 is where 40 is.
Yeah, everything in this car kind of is a resetting of reality.
Yeah.
Sort of important parts and numbers.
Well, what I would say I have quadrupled the mileage of this car. Yeah. And this is still on the original tire, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so there you go. Well, Matthew, thank you. I know this is a multi-million-dollar car. We really can't go driving around on the street, even though it's a street car. But it was fun just to take it around the airport, just to get a feel for it, and just to smell it and feel it. And it's quite an amazing car. I mean, it really is terrific. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, is this thing for sale by any chance?
Not right now, but maybe
Not
one day
right now. All right,
maybe one day it will be. I'll bring it back for us to drive on the street before.
That's what we'll do. We'll put a lift thing, a lift kit in it to bring it up the front end.
Make it a little more.
Other than that, fantastic car.
Thank you.
See you guys next week. Hope you like this piece of Porsche history.
Mm-hmm.